And I wonder if you had an example of a story that you find yourself or would find yourself when you were actively in leadership roles, getting out and using strategically with your team.
Yes. In the book, I tell a story about a friend actually who worked for a large organization that sold construction equipment. So when you see those cranes sitting over skyscrapers, he was actually a salesperson for those items, and they're very expensive, right? But in any event, and in the book I talk about his name was Russell. I use a different name. That's the name I use in the book, Russell. But in any event, Russell was being asked by his manager to report sales of that crane when he had a handshake from the company, not a check, okay, not an invoice that was acknowledged paid, and it was a change in procedure. So Russell was really uncomfortable with that. When I was chairman of the board of the LA Chamber of Commerce, because I was chairman of the board of the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce in the mid 2000s, mid 20 teens, anyway, 2014, 2015. He sat on that board and he said, "Hey, no, do you have a moment?" Because one of the things he heard me talk about all the time was value-based leadership, integrity, ethics, blah, blah, blah. So he heard me talk about that stuff. He said, "Can we have coffee?" So we had coffee. And he told me the story about what his manager's doing. And I said, "Russell, did anyone hear him say that to you?" And he was like, "Well, no." I said, "There's a reason for that, Russell. Okay. Because when there's a trial, you're the one that you're the one that reported something sold. It wasn't, not him. Okay. And he can just deny that he asked you to do it. Okay. Because he's probably getting pressure to hit his numbers." I said, "So here's what you need to do to manage through that circumstance. You go get with him and you say, okay, listen, if there's a procedure change, I want to see it. Show it to me and then talk to your peers. Have they received the same request? And let your manager know you're going to do that, right? You're going to, that this is a change. You want to make sure you're keeping the line straight. There's nothing's fuzzy here, etc." I said, so sit down with him and let him know that you are uncomfortable with this request unless you see documentation. He did that.